Okay. Okay, I'm now recording this meeting. Hi, this is Lisa Anderson, and I'm the Commodore of the Northern Lights Sailing Club. This meeting is being recorded, and if you do not agree with that recording, I would like you to disconnect now. Thank you. Okay, this is our March 2021 meeting, and it is commonly known as Trip Night. So we are going to go through and have different presenters let us know about the trips that they're planning for 2021. But before we get into all of the details on what our sailing activities are going to be like, we will have a couple announcements and general business items that need to be discussed. And one of those would be from Mr. Tom, our Vice Commodore. So everyone is on mute right now. So if you need to speak, you will have to unmute yourself before you speak. So Tom, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another fun Zoom meeting. This is our, might be our 12th one, I think, maybe. Started last April. And big thing for next month, we have two things. The first is the election. So how many of you have put your name in to run on the board? Don't all raise your hand at once, okay? So remember, this club is all volunteers. The people that are on the board, a lot of them have served for a long time. And we really need some new people to step up and do this. The positions that we have, so we have a few people that are not coming back on the board. We have a few people that are shifting positions to get a little bit different, what's the word, experience on other tasks with the board. And the positions that would be open right now, obviously anybody can run for any position. So you need to contact myself or Narina Hale or Wayne Hochmeyer if you want to apply or just be on the ballot. And positions right now that would be open would be Vice Commodore, Sailing and Trips Coordinator. That's Jerry has been filling that role, not even actually on the board, but in the absence of anybody wanting to take that position last year. Meetings and programs, between myself and Heidi, we did that operation for the last 12 months. And just so you know that the meetings and programs, getting speakers for the meetings, etc., it is a team effort. So if you were to put your name forward for that position, we will all be helping you, and myself included. At some point, we hope to be going back to live in-person meetings, but I have a feeling that somehow we may be doing Zoom for quite a while and maybe doing both at the same time. The last one is information technology. That's the website position. So there's actually 4 positions that are conceivably would be unfilled if we don't get people to step forward. So we're going to vote the same way we did last year. If you remember, we did that by email. And we do need a quorum of voters, of members, in order to have the ballot be valid. We'll be sending that information out on into early April and let you know when the election starts and the voting ends. So that's all that I have right now on the election, I believe. For the meeting, the rest of the meeting in April, Jerry, if you want to unmute yourself, and I'm going to turn it over to you. I believe you're working with a speaker out of Duluth, right, for the April meeting?
Yes, I have Jim Sherrill from the Duluth Superior Sailing Association will talk to us about their organization, its history, their relationships with other clubs up in the Duluth area, for example, the Duluth Yacht Club, and all of the programs they have for youth and sailing instruction in the summer. They have a facility out at Park Point, and I know that they have had plans in the works to build a new, well, I guess a clubhouse out on Park Point. So he's going to talk about all of those things. And I think there's quite a history with the DSSA. In fact, we have Zachary Lang also from the DSSA on with us tonight. So he'll be talking a little bit about sailing activities up in Duluth as well. So we'll have, if you want to know about Duluth and sailing tonight, and also April will be the time to tune in. So.
All right, now Jerry, take it away. You've got trip night tonight.
Well, okay. Well, good evening and welcome everyone to Trip Night. And just like to make a comment before we get started. If you have any interest at all in a trip that's presented tonight, please let the organizer know right away. Don't wait 2 or 3 months down the road. It's very helpful in the planning, reserving the boats, putting in deposits. There's quite a bit of time and effort put into putting the trips together, and it's really helpful to know the level of interest and how many people are actually interested in a trip. So I really would ask you to communicate with the trip planners if you're at all interested. And on a side note, if anyone has a trailerable boat and would like to make it available for local sailing events, please let me know. We would love to plan some local sailing trips on the lakes here in the Twin Cities. And right now we can't because we don't have the boats. So if you have one that you're willing to participate with, let me know. Okay, getting into the trip night. After all of the trips have been presented, we'll have time at the very end for questions. We have 7 presenters and they'll each have about 10 minutes. And first up is Reeve Hutchinson. Talk to us about his trips up on Lake Superior. So Reeve, take it away. Reeve, take it away. Reeve, take it away. I know he's there.
And don't forget to unmute.
I don't see him. Let's see.
I saw him, he's here.
Okay.
Maybe you can send him a message to unmute.
Well,
Am I unmuted? Jerry.
Well, now you
We
are.
hear. Okay, we hear you now. There you are. All
Okay.
right.
Yeah,
This is
then,
Reeve
then
Hutchinson.
it's share
Okay.
screen. Boy, share screen? Huh?
Okay.
Looking good so far? Oh, God. Where the hell where did this thing come from? Oh, my God. I had this all figured out. Honest, I did. Okay. I want to go to my drive and I want to get my PowerPoint going. Oh, wait a minute. No. I got this. Oh,
Well, folks, you can
no,
see how organized we are.
He's a skipper.
It's about time for a kitty to show up for somebody's face, right? Like
God.
lawyer.
Oh, come on. Give me a break here. Come on. Oh.
Take all the time you need. We're good.
Where is that? Okay, now, all right. I get to go to.
Well, hey, Reed, while you're working on that, you guys, everybody else, if you go in, if you haven't done this before, in the upper right hand of most screens, there's a view icon you can click on. And then when you click on that, you'll get some choices, and one will be the speaker view. And the speaker view will give you a split screen of once he gets his PowerPoint up and the speaker. Then if you go up across the top of the screen between those 2 split screens, you'll find where your cursor will stop, and you can make him smaller and make the PowerPoint bigger. So if you find that, it's really cool. A lot of people will suffer with, half and half, and really what you often want to see is the PowerPoint and not so much the big
No.
speaker.
Go back.
So
No. Is anybody seeing this? Hello? Oh,
No, can't see it.
Not yet. We can't see it.
oh, can you
No,
hear
we
me
just
though?
see, we
We can hear
just see
you.
you and we hear you.
Oh, sorry about the swear word.
Okay, hey, Reeve, Reeve, why don't you put yourself on mute? And then you go ahead and keep playing around with it. Jerry, let's move on to the next speaker.
Well, okay, that would be Joan Gilmore. Are you ready, Joan? And
Yes, I'm ready.
and then Al, you're next. Okay. All right.
All right, hello.
Jerry.
Welcome.
Makita?
Hi, John.
All right, hi, welcome. All right, well, I'm just gonna go right into it because we want to keep this as short as possible. So I will share my screen with you. There it is, okay.
Okay, good.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Yay. All right.
Uh,
Okay, all right. So, so I'm going to present the educational trips, and then also a BVI flotilla, which is I haven't done for a number of years. So first, I'd like to say that my trips are not sponsored, but they're with my school, Sailaway Sailing School. So we have cancellation policies, and you can find those on our website under you just click the registration form and it gives you the cancellation policies. So basically, if you can't go on a trip, there's a certain amount of time that you have to cancel. And in the past, I've had a couple people having to leave BVI trips just a little bit beforehand because in both cases, they were pregnant people that couldn't go anymore. And we did find people to take their place. So I try to, take your place with another person if possible. Also, everything is, we follow COVID guidelines. So we'll follow what the governor is telling us to do. We've been wearing masks. We have a limit of 4 people on the cruising boats. And we try to make sure that it's as safe as possible. We wear gloves. And then when we anchor out, make sure we're only doing it on nights that are where there's no rain to make it better airflow. All right. And I had to cancel last year's BVI, or this year's, I should say, BVI trip. I'm usually there now, and I also canceled my Florida trips due to COVID. So, this is my suitcase, not looking happy. Telling your suitcase there's no vacation this year can be tough. Emotional baggage is the worst. So, I'm sure everyone can relate to
Joan, I'm going to interrupt you.
Yes.
Can you put yours in slideshow mode?
Oh.
We're not seeing the full screen of your presentation.
Oh, okay. Let's see, I'm on slides. Let's see here.
Right.
Like that?
There you
Yeah,
go.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay. All right. So, okay. First I'll talk about the flotilla for the year. Okay. This will be in late February of 2022. And I'll be doing teaching down there. The cruising classes will be in January and February, and then this will be the final week. There'll probably be 8 boats or so, cats, maybe some monohulls. Not sure which charter company I'll use, maybe use several charter companies. And so it'll be probably 8 people to a cat, 6 people to a monohull. And we'll be spending the night on mooring balls. We'll kind of meet together in restaurants. We'd like to take time to relax on the beach, go to Anegada, do all the fun stuff, okay? So and we'll end up in restaurants, the same restaurants every night. So we'll kind of plan ahead for this. So I think it'll be really fun. This is just some BVI shots. Okay, so hopefully you can come to this. So let me know if you're interested, even though I don't have exact dates and the cost. I just want to know who's thinking of it so I can use that to get a good price on boats. We'll probably have people just pay for their own boats, make it real simple that way. So for the flotilla, everybody who goes on the flotilla should have finished their ASA 104. And the reason for that is I've heard feedback from skippers who have led trips saying that the skipper ends up doing all the work. They they want to really share the responsibility and make it fun for everybody. If you're in this flotilla, you'll be serving as skipper of the day for one of the days. And then you'll also have a pre-trip meeting with the rest of the crew so that it's fun for everybody. Okay, and the BVI Tourist Bureau is offering to have a party for the flotilla participants. And we plan to do that in October, possibly October 16th. And that'll be at a place like maybe the Marsh in Minnetonka. And so I'll have all the people who are interested in going on this. And there should be entertainment, food, drink. It should be really fun. So please let me know as soon as possible if you are interested in this flotilla. Okay. Right. And now I'm going to talk about some of the courses. ASA 103 is called Basic Cruising, and 104 is called Bareboat Chartering. And ASA 104 is the same as a European boat license. And that means you can use it as a boat license, which you need in most European countries. A lot of them won't let you in the door. Even if you sail your own boat across the Atlantic, you're not allowed to dock in the country without showing your driver's license for boating, which is what the ASA 104 is. So for BVI, it's a 1 week live aboard course. And as I said, that would be held in January to early February. I'll probably have several of those courses, several weeks like that. One might be a 103, 104, which is the basic certification. And then I'll have a week of cruising catamaran, which is just specific to cats, okay? Everyone from NLSC who's a member gets a $50 discount for the 1 week live aboard classes. And also to get this certification, so you can skipper or be skipper of the day even, it's also being held on Lake Superior as a 4-day live aboard course. And it'll be starting in July, I'll have 2 to 3 courses throughout the summer. And there's a $25 discount for NLSC members. So there's my website, sailawaysailingschool.com. You can just go and find all the details yourself there. Or you can just email me at captainjoan@mac.com. All right, this
And
is
just to clarify, you offer certification through your school?
yes. We do all this. We do all the ASA certifications,
Including Lake Superior one?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And here's a boat that I used to teach on in Bayfield. It's a 35-foot Erickson. And normally it sleeps 6 and I take 5 students, but during times of COVID, I'm limiting it to 4 students. So it's a little roomier. And it worked really well last summer. The social distancing wasn't a problem. Everything worked out really well. But what we do with the 4-day classes is you come up the night before, like the Wednesday night, we all meet for dinner somewhere in a restaurant. It's always an outdoor restaurant. And then you sleep aboard and then we sail those 4 days on the boat. So breakfast and lunches are all included. Your textbooks are included. You just bring your sleeping bag and your clothes.
Joan, 2 minutes.
Okay, there's more, there's the cockpit. And then the prereq for the 103, 104 is ASA 101, which is a learn to sail course. And there's a discount for NLSC members there. And it's a prereq for all the courses. There's also a docking class, 2 full days of docking on a 34-foot Catalina. This is on the St. Croix River at Bayport, which is really, 20 minutes from St. Paul. Okay, so there's the docking. Last year's, I called them the badass boaters. That was their last year. There was somebody. Okay, so, and then also we do classes up in Duluth. We use the DSSA boats. So if you want to do it there, you could combine it with sailing. You become a DSSA member, take one of the classes and then you sail any of their fleet boats with your membership right after class. Okay, so NLSC is only $15 this year. So you could get a friend to join you and the NLC discount they get for these classes will pay for their membership. So cheers to post-COVID sailing. That's it. That's so just call me or after, if you have questions, we'll talk at the end of this or email me. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Joan.
Sure.
And Reeve, are you ready to go? Reeve Hutchinson.
Jerry, I believe, yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Can you hear
you.
me?
Yes.
Oh,
Now we
okay.
see you.
Well, oh my. You do? Oh my gosh. Well, I've got share screen on. Oh, where did everything I touch? Oh, go to the next guy. I can't believe it. That makes me nuts. It worked in rehearsal.
Okay, what's the problem? Just settle, just go, get calm down.
Okay, all right, okay. Well, my screen went away from the Zoom meeting and went to kind of my home page. And I don't know why, it just went away. I was being nice, I unmuted and it just went away. So, but obviously I'm still connected to you. I just can't find out how to get to you.
Well, can you see the Zoom meeting on your computer?
No. But yet we can still
Do you see
talk.
a camera on your dashboard? There may be a camera. If you punch that,
Oh, let me,
bring the Zoom
oh yeah,
back.
yeah, let me see. Oh, yeah. There's camera. I just, oh, wait a minute. Says another, looks like another app is using the camera already. Is that okay?
Well, we see you.
Well, who's that other person using the camera? Is that me?
It's Zoom. Zoom is using the camera.
Okay, close other apps. But I don't.
Down at the very, very bottom of your screen, is there a little thing that looks like a camera?
Oh, yeah, yes.
Click on that tab.
Oh, there it is. Okay, all right. Okay, now from here, I have to get to the PowerPoint.
Right.
Right, so I just go like I would normally go to get PowerPoint. Am I correct? I had it up before.
Well, you have to share screen
Yeah, I got that. That's illuminated.
and then click, then it should show you the PowerPoint. When you share the screen
Yeah.
and then you can
Well, that's what it was doing before. Look.
then share your entire screen. Then you go find your PowerPoint.
Okay, yeah. And now we're all together here, right? You can see what I'm
Yeah, but
seeing.
you have to share your entire screen. You haven't actually shared your entire screen to us yet.
Oh, man. Okay. I thought it, okay. Oh, everything went away. Oh, share screen. Okay. Now select the window or application you want to share. I want to share that.
There you go. Yeah.
Come on, go. Oh, this isn't working. Oh, come on. Well, go
There you go. Something's
There you
happening.
got screen sharing.
Right now.
Now you're on. Okay.
Now we're seeing your entire screen.
Now
You
bring your
are.
PowerPoint.
Yes, now you need to open your
My
PowerPoint.
PowerPoint. Okay, all right. I really apologize. I'm not trying to be a true putz, but my God.
That's okay. That's okay.
Ray, at least we know you're a much better sailor than a Zoom operator.
Jeez, yeah. If they made boats like these applications, I'd be screwed. Okay, so, and I'm gonna hit open. You can see that, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna hit open. And then I have to go to the browse and I put all of them together on my presentation in a file folder thinking that will be really efficient. So this is probably a good lesson on all things not to ever do. Okay, come on, it says trip night. Go.
Double click.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right, now I'm
Your
gonna,
click about Gitchigami. There you go.
There we are.
okay, and then we want to go to the full screen, which I just want to
No,
run the
you-
show then, right?
Slideshow, yep,
Yeah, let's see here.
right there, straight up,
Straight
slideshow.
up,
Yeah.
slideshow.
No, I don't want to mute. Come on.
No, you don't want to mute. You
Yep,
just want to
okay,
make
we're
it a
gonna go from the
slideshow.
Beginning, and I'm gonna go fast, I hope.
There you go.
Okay, oh man, are we all on board with this?
Yep, we've got it.
Yep,
Oh,
we
good.
can
So
see ya.
just Clever little, can you see the screen now?
Yes, we can.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, so clever little quotations that I like. So here's what I'm doing. I can sleep 6. I'm taking only 3 to 4. I want proof of vaccination. Maybe a COVID test. No travel to foreign countries within 2 weeks, just like you're talking to your medical professional. The boat, this gives you an idea what the boat is like. It's comfortable. You got heat, air conditioning, home theater, all that kind of stuff. Big queen size berth aft. It's just some of you guys have been on a boat. I do most all the cooking on board. I love to cook. We eat very, very well. And I do all the provisioning for the boat. And I'm also kind of the DJ for a lot of the music on the boat. And, it's very comfortable to sit in the cockpit and watch. If anybody wants to do a custom cruise, I'm your guy. I don't care where we go. I don't care when we go, and I don't care how long we have to stay away. I'm your guy. I just love those kind of adventures. So that's what it is. Here is how to reach me, either by texting or so forth. So that's just the quick introduction here.
Can you shoot that back to the contact or just tell us what it is? It was kind of quick.
It's going to be showing up. It's going to be
Oh,
showing up
okay. Again?
Drew, again here. If I
Okay,
could figure out how to get to the next one. Okay,
Sure.
I'm done with this one. Hit escape. All right, I can do it.
Can you go back to the last slide with your contact for a second and stay there? So-
Yes, I will in just a moment, dear. We're gonna have, oh gosh, I just can't believe it. How do I ever get across the lake? I can't figure out how to get across my screen.
different skill sets.
Isn't that the truth? So
Yeah, what's your genre of music? What do you like to play? That's the important thing.
blues, jazz, rock, old classics, some classical. About the only thing I don't have any music on is Bonnie Raitt's about the closest I get to country western.
That's close enough.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and she's
It's
from
the blues. So
her son was here, or her brother was here, so that's good.
Yeah.
yes, did you know her brother?
Mhm.
Okay.
How about Todd Rundgren? Do you play some of him?
I would, but I don't think I have anything. So the Keweenaw thing here, and I know Jerry's going to be getting the hook out here for me quickly.
Yeah,
So,
okay, go ahead.
we're going to blast through this. I can do it 2 different times. I do have it scheduled for 30th of June through the 10th of July. So these are 10-day trips. But when you see what we're going to do, you'll understand why it takes 10 days to do it. And
Hey,
then
Reeve, I want to stop you here. Do you have the fading in this next one here also or not?
Yeah, kind of, but I changed the
Okay.
timing on it.
Can you just go to the next slide manually instead? I think if you do a right arrow or just go down on the side, I think that might be more effective, and that way you can stop.
Oh, okay, yeah, I
Yeah.
can do that. Okay.
Why don't you do it that way?
All right, I'd be happy to do it that way. So now we want to go back to slide. Well, if I do slideshow. Okay. then we-
Don't do slideshow, because then it's gonna do the goofy fading in and out.
Okay, well, you can see everything on here. So.
Yeah, just
you know,
click,
here's
click
here's where
down.
we're gonna go. It starts off with an overnight right straight from Bayfield to Eagle Harbor. Eagle Harbor is kind of a neat little spot to go into. They have the old life-saving building there from the Coast Guard. It's kind of an interesting thing coming in there because you line up off of a buoy offshore, and then there's 2 range marks, and so it's just kind of an interesting time to come in do that exercise. But it's a beautiful place. There is actually a nice beach. I think this is from the 50s, but anyway, the beach hasn't changed. Great old lighthouse. You can tour there. And there they've got some artifacts from the wreck of the city of Bangor, which in 1927 got iced in. They had to unload over 200 brand new Chryslers off of that boat in the ice. And they have one of those in there to see. So we're just in Eagle for, we arrive there, we spend the day there, and then we go on to Copper Harbor. which is just an absolute delight. And that's where we're going to have 4th of July. So I'm really looking forward to an outdoor 4th of July celebration in a small town. And they do the fireworks right there in the harbor. I mean, you just sit on the boat and watch the fireworks. It's going to be great. And you can also rent kayaks. If you want to go kayaking, they have bikes. Now, my version of mountain biking is probably different than what they had in mind. I rented a bike. It didn't go well for me. I crashed twice and had blood coming out of 3 places, but other people might have better success with it. We're going to bike on the road or hike to Manganese Falls. And I've got a shuttle lined up to take us to the top of Mount Brockway, which is for the sunset. It's just unbelievable up there. So just a neat little spot. We also can bike. It's only, half a mile to Fort Wilkins and go through the old fort. And we'll have dinner at the Harbor House, which is always wonderful. And then that's the marina in Copper. So it's a nice little marina, practically brand new. They redid everything just a few years ago. Everybody welcomes boats that come in. And when we leave there on day 5, we're going to be heading around the tip of the peninsula, and we'll come in and we're going to come into an island, Manitou Island, which, I mean, nobody goes there. And so we're going to go into Fisherman's Bay, put the hook down, a nice beach. We're going to have lunch there. And then from there, we'll go past the Gull Light, which has to be, as lighthouses go, this has got to be the loneliest place in the world. And then we're going to come into, going to be coming through Betty Grease Bay and going back into Little Lac La Belle through this entrance in the lake. And it's just tight little canal that you come through and you drop into, and right in the lower left corner of this is where the docks are. And last time we were there, we just had absolutely a great time. I've been there a few times. So we have
2 minutes, Reed, 2 minutes.
Okay, oh my gosh, I didn't even talk to the other 2 shows. Okay, then we're gonna go through the Portage Lake. We're gonna come in through the lower entrance. We're gonna snake through the canals, come into the entrance into Houghton, Michigan. That'll be day 7. We're gonna spend a day in Houghton. And then it's all about copper. And I've got a car rented. We're gonna go into tour of the copper mine and ride the tram down, go about 500 feet into the mine, see how it was done. They turn off the lights while you're in there just so you get a sense of the darkness. We'll go to the lift building, and then we're gonna head out through the upper entrance. We're gonna, on the way out, we're gonna come into Ontonagon. There's really nothing to be said about Ontonagon, but it's a nice place to stay and get a shower. And then it's Ontonagon across. So overnight to Eagle, Eagle Harbor, Copper Harbor, Mount Brockway, Manitou Island, Lac La Belle, Keweenaw, Houghton, Quincy Mines, and Ontonagon. Big trip. $14.50. It covers the fees, the car rental, the mine ticket, which is about $40, unbelievably. Fuel, sanitation pump house, a shuttle van while we're in Copper, and sanitation, everything all in. So, and there is how to call me or text me or email me. And we have, there's 2 other trips that I can blast through here quickly, but you know how, well, blast through it quickly. Here we go.
You have 18 seconds.
Well, yeah, I don't think I can tell you about the trips or not. I can try and make them go quick. They took me about 1 minute to 2 minutes a piece on the other 2 trips.
Okay, Jerry, we just need to see, okay, that last trip was the Kewaunee Peninsula,
Yep.
right? Okay.
Keweenaw
And
Peninsula,
so
or Keweenaw.
is there, because we didn't get a flyer on that,
Yeah,
is
I
there
have
a
one.
way that, I'm sorry, what?
I have flyers on all these, but guess what?
Okay.
I made them
Are they-
in PowerPoint, and Jerry said, well, give them to me in PDF. Well, I tried that.
Yeah, they
and
have
I
to
had
be PDFs.
Yeah, I had no luck with that. And Marilyn will
Okay,
tell you,
you just
I'm a
go
moron when it
save.
comes to-
You just go save as and choose PDF, but I can talk to you about that later.
Yeah.
But if you can just open up your other trips that say where they're going and the date. We don't necessarily need to go through the itinerary unless we get to the end and we've got a lot of other time. But we
Oh,
need to at
oh,
least know where
Okay,
you're going
well, let's
and
do
the
this.
date.
I'll do the brochure. How's that? Because that's got everything on it. So,
Sounds
one of
good.
the tours I'm doing twice in September and the last 2 weeks of September is going along the South Shore. And just to see, it's a photographic tour for the fall colors. So we're going to be going into Black River Harbor and hike the falls there. And then we're going to sail over to Ontonagon, where I've got a vehicle rented, and we're going to take that into the Porcupine Mountains Wilderness State Park. And we'll spend the day shooting in the park. And then from there, we'll, the next day, we come back to Bayfield after that. So just a gorgeous, I mean, the views there, these aren't enough, they're representative, but you see them and you go, oh my gosh, I want to see that in person. So during that fall. So that's another trip. And then I will open up the third one. And that is, I'm doing just another Isle Royal trip here. And that is, and I should mention that the last trip is $900 and some dollars. And where's my?
Go up.
Oh, well, that's the thing, but I don't want that. I want the little trifold for it, which I did. Oh, man. Oh, no, that's not it.
Are all of these trips on your website?
Yeah, they will be. They will be. I'm not a very good marketer, but they will be on the trip, on the website.
We can just find them there.
Could you, yeah, I don't see them on your website, but could you show
they're
your
not there
slide
yet.
with your contact information for a second too? I'm also not finding it on your website.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, they're not there yet. They will be shortly. Let's see, where was it? Oh, yeah. God, it's just,
Why don't you just repeat your phone number and email? That would be.
Reeve,
That's coming.
I like Pinot Grigio. Pinot
Yeah.
Grigio, I'll be happy to come over and help you with the computer stuff.
Oh, gosh, yeah, because so here's, I'd love to, even if we don't, but the Pinot Grigio part always works for me.
Yeah.
So here, can you see the number and all that information?
Here's the contact information, right?
What?
Thank you very much.
I'm the contact.
Yes.
It's just
Okay.
me. It's just me.
Just tell me the
We need to
date.
move on.
date.
And here's after all
Okay,
the
I just wanted to
presentations,
know.
folks.
Okay,
The date for.
I'll email you.
Yeah, the Isle Royal trip. I know you want to do the Isle
Actually,
Royal
you're
trip.
on with St. Martin and the Rideau Canal.
Okay, who's on with that?
Al
Hey,
Cracken.
Reeve, you have to stop sharing your screen now, okay?
I'll stop them.
Yeah, please.
Oh, no.
Reeve, it
Oh,
might be
man.
up on the top, of your
Oh, yeah,
screen.
okay, yep, I see it now. I had to clear away here. It says news share. My gosh. You're
No,
sharing.
it should,
Stop. Oh, I see it. How's that?
There, okay.
thank you.
Take it away, Al.
Okay, I'm going to start out by attempting a screen share. And let's see what I can find here. I had this all queued up, so let's see, where was that? Oh, goodness.
Jeez.
So I'm going to have to
See-
go back to
see,
Zoom
Reeve?
here.
We all lose our stuff sometimes.
We need an IT workshop.
I lost my record button at the beginning too, see?
Hey, Al, if you're in
Yes.
full screen mode, you might not be able to see all the icons.
Okay, so, well,
If you hit the escape button, you might get out of full screen mode.
okay, I hit the escape key a couple of times. I'm going back to Zoom here. Okay, now I can see everybody here. I can starting over again.
In the top
All
right
right,
where
so
it
if
says
I-
view, click on that and it says exit full screen. You can do it that way.
Okay, I've got the screen now, the gallery screen.
Yep.
And so what I want to do is I want to share my screen. So
Do you see that along the bottom?
What's that? I do. If I click on the share screen,
Yep.
okay, select a window or application you want to share.
Mhm.
Right.
All
If
right,
you
so
just
I am
select entire screen, then you can pick whatever you want on your computer.
Or select
Okay.
desktop.
I'm looking for desktop.
Now, what are the choices it's giving you to share the screen?
Okay, the choices I have are screen, Zoom, user manuals. I've got, well, let's try this one. Now that's a Word document. Oh, these were
But you
PDF
should just
files that
pick
I,
screen.
let me try and minimize the screen. Here we go. How's that?
No, it's not sharing.
Oh, let's go back to Zoom and
There it goes.
okay, have I shared? Okay, so I'm going to minimize this. Do we see a brochure here?
No,
Historic
we're
Rhino-
seeing Slack.
Oh, I just minimized Slack.
Well, that's what we're seeing.
Okay, what are you
So
seeing now?
you must have chose to share an application, not your screen.
Oh, no. Okay, so how can, so I had to go back and unshare. Oh, here's new share. All right, try that one. I changed.
There you go. You got your
Rhino
brochure
Canal?
now. Yep.
Okay. So when I get done with
Woohoo!
this, Jerry, maybe, what was that? Okay,
Just so
Jerry, when I
everybody
get,
knows, we did have a technical rehearsal, so.
just imagine what this would be like without a technical rehearsal. Okay, Jerry, when
All
I
right.
finish with this, since I finish with this, when I finish with this, maybe I should roll into my next presentation,
Yes.
which is another tab here. And if I'm successful in bringing that up, then I'll just roll right into the next one, which happens to be the St. Martin trip.
Okay. All
Is that
right.
going to be all right?
Yep. Go.
Okay, so this is our Rideau Canal trip, and Jerry and I are both the organizers of this trip. We have rented a houseboat on the historic Rideau Canal, which is just outside of Ottawa, Canada. The dates are 7 days, July 28th to August 4th, which was a change from the original date due to COVID. We fly into Ottawa and then we travel by train, taxi or bus to Smith Falls for an afternoon boarding. Our tentative route on the canal is Smith Falls down to Sealy's Bay and back. Along the way, we will visit historic towns with breweries, vineyards, and shops. We can hike or take bike rides. Bikes are actually included as part of the package for this boat, by the way. So there's plenty of time to view the scenery and relax as we cruise along. The cost is $1,000 per person for the week. That includes the boat and the fuel, collision damage waiver, end of cruise boat cleaning, and it also includes one bike for the week per passenger. The best way to visualize this trip, I've got 3 links on this flyer, which is also in the March issue of Bearings, which is also on the website. So if you've lost your flyer on the email that we sent out, you can go to our website and look at the March Bearings. So where it says down here, check out these websites for more info. This middle website, the Travel Scope website, this was a show that I watched that was my inspiration for this trip. And it's a 25-minute show, and it shows basically renting this boat and going on much of the same part of the canal that we're going to go on this trip. And so what I'm going to do here, I've got this link. The best way to visualize this trip, I watched this video, this 20-minute video, but I've got queued up a 1-minute clip here that shows a little bit of what to expect. So I'm going to click on this and let's see what happens. Can you see this?
Yes.
Can you see this?
Yeah,
Can
we
you
got
see
it.
this image?
We can.
Yep.
We can.
Jerry?
Yes.
Okay, so I am going to go ahead and can you see this video being played?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to let this video roll for a minute, and this will show a little bit about what to expect on the trip.
Al, I might mention that the boat has 4 cabins with twin beds or double beds, either way, and also each cabin with its own head. So it's going to be pretty nice.
Okay, I paused the video. Can anybody hear the text of this?
No.
When the video played, could anybody hear the text?
Just music.
Well, Jerry was speaking while the video was playing. And can anybody, Jerry, could you hear the text of this video?
No.
You could not. Okay, so this is just be a video with no text, but I think you'll get a pretty good idea of what the trip is going to be like.
Is it on YouTube? It seemed to say it was on YouTube.
You can get to the lock in time and get through to the next spot. It's up to you. It's truly Canada at your own pace. What station are we at? This is lock station 17. And see, we have a boat waiting to come on through. And in order to get through these locks, you have to be there half an hour before. So your timing's got to be good. Your timing's got to be good. But also with this station, around the corner, we have a swing bridge that we operate as well. So you've got to clear that bridge because otherwise that gets locked as well. You made it. Of course, the idea is to take this at your own pace and not to be in a big gigantic hurry. No, just take the nature in and just go slowly. On the Merrickville and Smith Falls. One of the most historic villages on the Rideau Canal is Merrickville.
Okay, so there you go. I'd recommend watching the full-length video. Again, that will give you a very good idea of what to expect on our trip. Right now, the trip is presently full, but Jerry and I have established a wait list. And so if you'd like to get on that, please get in contact with us. I read an article just recently that Canada is expecting to finish up their vaccinations by September. So being able to go on the dates here might be a little iffy. LeBoat has been very generous in their cancellation and rescheduling to help us. And so this might very well be a 2022 trip. If we can't go within 30 days and we don't know if we can go or not, they will give us a full refund. So I think the risk is pretty low. Again, the boat is full, but if you're interested, please get in contact with us, and who knows, we might be able to rent a second boat. At least we'll get you on the waiting list. So that's all I have. Jerry, shall I go up into the next?
Yeah,
presentation,
absolutely.
if I
Yep,
could get
and you've got about 4 minutes, so yeah, go ahead.
I use okay, it'll take me 4 minutes to find the next tab here because
Okay.
The tab is being hidden. The tab is being hidden by a menu here. So let's see if we can get that here. Get St. Martin. Max. Whoops. No. I lost it.
Well, we see a catamaran on there.
Ah, okay. So you see a catamaran?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I will try and maximize this so that we can see it. You know, I should have gone with the PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so I'm just going to quit while I'm ahead here. I'm hopeful everybody can see a small section of my screen here with the flyer. I'll maximize a little bit. Hopefully that will help. So our St. Martin trip, Marilyn is actually the trip chair on this. We have 3 boats. One is a 55-foot monohull that Paul Cernia is skippering. And then we have presently 2 catamarans that we've reserved. The catamarans are 45 feet and 44 feet. They're very nice catamarans. The flyer has a shot of the catamaran here. The 45s and the 44s are pretty similar. They have 4 cabins and 4 heads. And this boat, I think they both have this outdoor area here in front. That's in an outside cabana rather than just a trampoline. And this is in front of the main salon. Okay, so let's see if I can expand this a little bit. Whoops, oh shoot, not that again. I'm gonna expand this just a little bit if I can. Okay, so this shows a map of the area that we're gonna be in. And the first day we will be in St. Martin. Phillipsburg is actually a town in St. Martin. So on March 10th of 2022, we'll board. And we can board at 6 o'clock. This is on the French side of the island. Then on March 11th, we have our checkout chart briefing. And we'll probably be underway about 1 o'clock. So we'll head around the corner here and we'll head into this harbor, which is Phillipsburg. And that evening we'll anchor and we can get off the boat, go into town, have some fun. Then the next day we are going to travel up to Statia. That's going to be about a 33-mile trip. This chart shows the prevailing winds. So we should have a pretty good sail that day. And we will make our way to the island of Statia. And we'll be staying in a harbor there. I think it's called Oranjestead. It's kind of hard for me to pronounce. So we're in Dutch territory at that time, and we may or may not have to go to through customs. So the next day, March 13th, it will be a lay day. Give us a chance to recover from that exciting sail in the previous day. And so we'll have a chance to get out, explore the town, maybe take a hike, just kind of relax. Then on March 14th, we're off again. We sail towards, sail to windward on March 14th, and we sail to St. Bart's. So this is the island of St. Bart's, where we'll be at the port of Gustavia. Now, when we get to St. Bart's, that's France, so we may have to go through customs again. And we'll get off the boat, explore Gustavia. Again, there'll be probably plenty of opportunities to explore and hike. Then on March 15th, we'll plan to spend the morning in Gustavia, but then we'll take a brief ride around the corner. We might just motor over there. And we're going to go to a marine reserve. This is Bart's Marine Reserve. And according to the cruising guide, it's a perfect spot for snorkeling, colorful tropical fish, turtles, rays, lobster, and even dolphins. So we'll spend the night in this cove at Anchor. Then the next day we'll head off and we'll go back to St. Martin. We'll go around the bend here on March 16th, and we'll sail over to Grand Case. We'll anchor, we can go into shore. There's a village there, we'll be able to go into town. I think there'll be some shops and restaurants and whatnot for that. So that'll be our last night. And then there's a short hop back to base, about 3 miles. So the cost for this trip is $1,100. And we estimate there'll be an additional $200 for the kitty to cover various expenses, like as we usually have on trips. Oh, one more thing that you might be interested in. Nancy and I are going to go a day early. And on St. Martin, they have this 12-meter regatta, which is a business, and they have purchased America's Cup yachts that have been used previously in America's Cup, the 12 meters, and they race them. And so we're going to sign up for that. I'm going to click on this link. Here we go. Can you visualize doing this? Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great?
Very.
So we're gonna do that. We're gonna go a day or so early and do a 12-meter race.
Okay, well, thank you, Al.
Okay, that's all I have, and I will try and get out of sharing.
Okay, and
Stop
next
here.
up we have Zachary Lang from Duluth. Are you there, Zach?
Yeah, I'm here. How you guys doing? Hello to all the
Well,
Northern Lights Sailing Club members.
our technology is a little lacking, but we're getting there.
That's fine.
So how's everything in Duluth?
Duluth is good. It's warming up. And so, yeah, life's good around here for the most part. Good to see you, Jerry and Lisa and Joan and Dorothy. Yeah, so I am here pretty much I will share my screen and pretty much tell you guys how you can access us, the DSSA. And the DSSA stands for Duluth Superior Sailing Association. So Superior as in Wisconsin, not as in the lake, but we are on the lake. And I will get the screen shared here in a second, but my name is Zach Lang and I am the director for the program for the last couple of years. And I'm trying to multitask. I don't know why it won't let me, but do it either. Come on. There we go. Okay. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm the director for the last couple of years. So the DSSA for short, it's kind of a mouthful, is a nonprofit 501c3. So pretty much we're sustained through our memberships, sponsors, and donors. And so that's pretty much where we make our money to be able to stay afloat. We pay our staff, and the board is all volunteer. And we also have multiple other people come down and volunteer with us. We're connected with a lot of other organizations, including you guys. We also are with other universities and schools in the local Duluth area, other nonprofits and children's services. And so we make a lot of connections and we bring a lot of people down. Our motive is to kind of introduce sailing to everyone of all skill levels, ages, and so you don't have to be a new sailor to become a member here, but we do lessons, youth camps, and clinics and stuff like that. We also do races on Fridays. We didn't be able to do that last year with COVID, but that's also a fun thing that we do with our smaller dinghy fleet. So 2 ways for you guys to kind of access us is we have keel boats. We have 2 smaller keel boats, 24-foot keel boats that you can reserve and take out on to the bay and the lake. You have to be certified. So through ASA 101, 103, that's enough for us or for me to let you take out our boats. They have small outboard engines on them, and you can take those out onto the lake. We also have a day fleet, and our day fleet is a bunch of dinghies that I'll show you in a second. And how that works is during open sailing, which is in the past is usually Monday through Friday and the weekends. You can come down noon to dusk and take our boats out, and that's just with a membership. And you can also see, we also have day memberships for 15 bucks, 10 bucks, and that covers the whole day. So you can come down, pay a day membership and take one of our small boats out. All you really need to do is prove to us that you can sail for the dinghies. You don't have to take a test or have a certification for our day fleet. You can just come down and we'll ask you a couple questions and show you the boat, help you rig it up. You can rig it up yourself and take that out in the harbor for the most part. The keel boats are fine to go out on the lake, and you have to be certified. So if we go up, this is what our pier looks like. So if you come down for open sailing, there's not much on here, but for now, June, you can see we have our open house on here. And this is what the open sailing will look like. So if you want to come up for a weekend, they'll be posted on the weekend dates as well. I just haven't put them on there yet since it's only March. But this is kind of a typical what you can look for when you're looking for open sailing hours, because we do close due to weather and various other things sometimes. So you have to pay attention there. So always check before coming down. This is different than our reservation for the keel boats. So our fleet, so I'm on our website right now. So I'm not on a PowerPoint. I'm just kind of going through our website. I'll give you a picture of our fleet. We have a whole bunch of Optis that we use for youth and private lessons. We have a fleet of lasers that we like to race and sail around. And we also teach people how to sail lasers and different skills that come with a laser, since they're kind of a little intricate little boat. 2.4 meters are definitely a fan favorite for us. We have 3 of them. So we'll match race these. We also teach on them, and they're designed to be for paraplegic sailing. So you sit in them like a cockpit, and then you do everything with your hands. So the tiller's in front of you, the main sheet's in front of you, the head sail sheets are in front of you, and then they have back stay, front stay, tensioners, the whole 9 yards. So they're really fun boats, and they're keel boats. So they sail like a big boat, but they're a smaller boat. And this is what we use with Courage Kenny, which is another nonprofit organization that brings people of all ranges of disabilities down and sails with us once a week. We also have other classic dinghies, just jib and main dinghies like the Interlake. These are fun boats. They're kind of like scows. They have kind of a longer boom, so the boom sticks out past the stern of the boat. So it's good for a light wind day. We only have 1 Soling. We used to have a couple Solings. This white Soling here is the Soling that we currently have, and it's all rigged up with all the fun stuff. And we brought that up from Texas probably 6 years ago. So there are a variety of day sailors that if you want to come up for a weekend and you want to do a small trip, come up to Duluth for the weekend and still be able to sail during our open sailing hours, that's a possibility for you if you don't want to reserve a keel boat. We have a Flying Scot that was donated to us 2 years ago. That's a nice, fun little boat. We have a couple of sets of sails for that, and we do lessons on that as well. And we have a Yingling, which is kind of a smaller version of a Soling. So here are cruise boats. We have 2 cruise boats that we usually rotate, and we might be bringing a third, a Chrysler 22, so even a smaller keel boat into the equation if we get really busy, or if we have a keel boat that needs repairs or something like that. So these are the boats that you can reserve if you have the qualifications to do so. If you don't, you can also go through me, and we have a pretty simple checklist that you need to study, and then you have to prove certain things to me, as in if you're confident using the engine and docking the boat, and then also performing a couple of different man overboard drills for me. And it's also an opportunity for me to show you the boat, just because every boat's different, and you guys know that. So yeah, 2 boats, Cal 24 and a Catalina 25. So over easy will fit 4 comfortably, I'd say, maybe. J4 definitely doesn't fit 4 comfortably, so usually 2 or 3. It's a smaller cockpit and the cabin's not very big. So think about that if you want to reserve it. I will, if it's kind of a not as nice of a day. 4 people might be a lot if you're trying to, get underneath and get out of the rain or the wind or what have you. It might be a little small, but it's still a really fun boat. And here are some of the other qualifications for these boats, just so you can see. I'm sure a lot of you guys are qualified. And so pretty much how you get to reserve these boats, you call our number, and I'll show you our number here in a second, and our emails. You can contact either. I do both, so you're going to be talking to me in the long run. And you can pick a date and reserve the boat. And how we do the boat reservations is in 4-hour increments. So pretty much kind of like 8 to noon, noon to 4, 4 to 8. And that can vary. And so it's not have to be that set like that. And we can figure out different pricings for that. So you can call me independently and reserve a boat for the day. And you can do that starting now. You can do it a couple of days ahead of time. As long as the boat's available, you can have it. I know I've talked to Jerry, and he has several dates marked for the Northern Lights Sailing Club. So if you want to get on that, you can do that. That's June 26th, July 17th, and the 31st, August 14th, and the 28th. So that, or you can do it independently. That's totally fine. But those are the dates that we're letting Northern Lights reserve for the year. A big thing is there's no alcohol on the boats. That's kind of a bummer because that's a great thing to do while sailing. But through our insurance, we can't allow it, and you have to keep a PFD on at all times. So those are kind of some of the things that people don't recognize when they come down to sail with us. So it's good to know ahead of time. Here's our kind
2 minutes, Zach. 2
Yep.
minutes.
2 minutes. Here's kind of our somewhat boundaries. We don't do any overnight things. We're just a day organization. So this is kind of just a set for, this is kind of how as far as we kind of want you to go, just because if there is a problem, I have to take one of our smaller boats out there to come get you, as in a power boat. And if it's really choppy on the lake, then those power boats aren't always safe to go on the lake. So we kind of cut you off a little bit on where you can go, but it's plenty of distance to spend the whole day sailing. And you can sail in the harbor, along up the North Shore a little bit, and across to Wisconsin. And so there's a reservation log at the bottom. We don't really use this, so stray away from that. I'm not even going to show you more about that. You just call me to get in touch with reserving a keel boat. We also do lessons if people want to learn how to sail. I know a lot of you guys already do. And here is our contact information. So 218-260-0961.
And what's the price for renting a boat for 4 hours?
I couldn't really hear that. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's $25 for the cruise boats for 4 hours.
Plus a membership on top of that.
Yeah, plus the membership, which it's like $15 for the first day, right?
No,
And then
we changed it, Lisa. It's only going to be, it's $15 a day. So it's not going to go,
okay.
It's just, it's unlimited. So you could come down 3 days in a row and just pay $15 each day if you didn't want to pay a membership, which you've already almost paid the membership off at that point.
But that's just the cruise boats. If you want to sail those other boats.
Yes, if you want to
it's
sail
just
our day fleet.
It's just the membership fee then.
Yep, it is.
So that's like a heck of a deal.
Yep, it's pretty cheap. So we're just pretty much trying to get people out on the boats and
we have an arrangement with DSSA that our members can join their club for a reduced rate of $99. It's normally $125. And then you don't pay the daily membership fee. You only pay the cruise boat fee. Just like their members have to pay the cruise boat fee. You know, everybody has to pay the cruise boat fee, but you would not pay the membership fee if you joined as a member. That's what I did in 2019. I just joined as a member. But last year, of course, with COVID, I didn't join as a member because, nobody knew if we were going to get to sail at all. And then when we did get to sail, I gotta tell you, sometimes those dang little cruise boats were already booked.
Yep. So it can be, a month in advance, a couple days in advance. I haven't really had any reservations for keel boats. It's pretty early, but if you want to start tacking that stuff down, you can. And I'll usually give you a call a couple of days ahead of time, a week ahead of time, in case you want to cancel. But they do fill up, especially on the weekends, and they are available on the weekdays. So if you don't have a week schedule and you want to come up during the week, there's a good chance that the boats will be available. And
Yeah.
So yeah.
And J4 is my favorite.
Yes.
And just so you folks know, last year we did 2 days, Saturday, Sunday. This year I've only reserved the boats for 1 day because some folks didn't want to have to do the hotel reservations and go through that. So, but if you want to go for 2 days, just contact Zach and we'll get it set up. So I think anything else, Zachary?
No, I'm good. So what I just
Okay.
scrolled through is our website. So if you need to find the contact information again or anything else, it should be on there. And that's
And that's sailingforall.org.
You can also
Okay.
just Google Duluth Sailing. It should pop up.
And that's in our bearings also, so that contact information. So, all right. Well, Zachary, thank you and appreciate your time.
Yeah,
And
thanks,
I see Jay Biggs is not with us, talking about his trip to Corsica and also the BVI this winter. Jay, are you there? No? I don't think so. Dorothy Zimmerman, then you're up to talk about Newport. Dorothy Zimmerman, are you ready?
And don't forget to unmute, Dorothy.
And then we'll have Captain Ray and Marilyn afterwards.
Oh boy, I'm falling asleep.
I wonder if we lost Dorothy because I don't have her picture anymore.
She's
either.
muted. She's muted.
Oh, there she is. Dorothy, you have to unmute.
You can unmute her.
I can mute people, but I can't.
I think you
I
can.
can't. There she goes.
There we go.
Okay, now am I on?
You're
Yes.
Yep.
You're on.
Okay. Well, I don't have anything to show except my head and the Golden Gate Bridge. Because I thought if everybody got their notices, emails yesterday, you could print off the flyers. But in telling about the Newport trip, we've done this trip many different ways, and I've set this up. I myself am not going on it, but I thought some people may want to get out on the ocean and get some long cruising days in and work with the tides and currents and whatnot. So anyway, we did have it for July and we didn't have enough response in time. So we lost the availability of the boats. Then we had to change it. So now we've got the mid-September, in my opinion, is probably the best time to be sailing out there because there's racing. You understand Newport is a big racing capital. And then along with the tourists and the other boats going out to the islands, it gets quite tricky to try to get moorings early enough, and you don't want to start with new mooring usually. But we're going to, the week is reserved for the 17th through 24th. And so that'll be good. We have 2 boats available, 42-foot Beneteaus. And anyway, we have the owner, because we've got a good relationship with them, has allowed us good faith of holding the 2 boats for us until the 30th of March. So the skippers don't have to be certified by Northern Lights, which some of our trips were. But if you are, fine. And if you're not, Brian Blank is the owner, and he just has a resume that he asks a skipper to fill out. And it's up to him to say either you've got enough certification or not. So, but we can't really do a trip until we have a skipper. So at this point, we have no one lined up. So the onus is on to get you signed up and get a skipper. It's a great area. I suggest you do a little research on it. While I've picked out my favorite areas to sail, going from Newport out to Menemsha Basin, which is the tip of Martha's Vineyard. That's an all-day sail. It's 38 nautical miles. So you're looking at a long day. And then you're going from there to Edgartown on the northeast corner of Martha's Vineyard. And that's 25 nautical miles. And Edgartown is just a charming town. It's one of the oldest of the islands out there. And that is the home of the whaling vessels. And of course, with the whaling captains, they held these beautiful big homes with the Widow's Walk up on top. And they're 200- and 300-year-old homes that are restored as needed. And so you get to see those. It's just a charming town, beautiful harbor. And then from there, you head on over to Nantucket, which 20 nautical mile. And of course, depending on your wind and whatnot, you've got a 4 to 6 hour sail. And don't ask where you stop for lunch, because the first time that I put a trip like this together, somebody said, well, where do you stop for lunch? If with it that far, I don't see any stops. Well, you know, we're going to eat on the boat. So it's a lot of planning on this trip because you're not stopping anywhere for lunch. They're long day sails, which are beautiful for everybody that loves to be on the water sailing, because that's what you like to do. So anyhow, from Edgartown out to Nantucket, and then you have another totally charming town. What I've always felt is to really do to the island, I like to get an overview. So renting a taxi, and most of the taxi drivers are tour guides. So you can put 3 to 4 people in a cab and go around and see the island pretty fast, then come back and do the whaling museums and do some of the shops and whatnot. So anyway, it's a delightful place to go. And then from there, you go back to Oak Bluffs, which is, again, one of my favorite places. I always thought I wanted to be married at Oak Bluffs because they have these little tiny gingerbread houses in a great big row, kind of like a circle. And it had once been a Bible camp. I think, I don't remember if it was Methodist Bible camp or Baptist Bible camp. They had a great big tabernacle in the middle, which is now just open for concerts and different things. So anyway, there's a lot to see. And Oak Bluffs itself, it has the big, beautiful bluffs that are great for, photographing. And there's a lovely lighthouse there. Well, maybe lovely isn't the correct word, but for me, things are lovely. Anyway, then you go back, which is a new harbor that I looked up because I didn't know anything about it. And the name of it is Padanaram. And in looking it up, researching it yesterday, it was voted the best harbor in the United States. And that was voted by 9 million users of the usharbor.com. So that's pretty special. And it's a very historic little town. So that's, and then the last night we come back to the Newport area, and you dock over probably around Jamestown, just right across from Newport. And or you could go into Newport and either finish off the food that you have so often we overbuy for supplies, or you can go in the town in Newport and go there. Then in the morning, you power over and get your fuel dock and remove the trash and top off the water. The boat does come with a dinghy with a motor on, so that is good. The total price is $875 per person. And that includes the dinghy and the outboard. That will also include there's about a $500 charge in there, allowing for the gas, the diesel, for pump outs, and for mooring balls. So it's pretty well inclusive. You just does not include your travel out there nor the parking at Fort Adams. And anyway, I think if you look it up and do some research on the area, you'll see that it's well worth the money. It's great sailing, and you please print out your flyer so that you see it. And we have until the end of March, which only gives us 2 more weeks to get our deposits in and get skippers. Like I said, we'll have 2 boats. And once we get it together, the good thing is you don't have to stay to this schedule. This is a suggested outline that takes in a lot of it. You could want to go out to Block Island, you could do the Block Island, you could stay there 2-3 days. It's up to the group that goes out there, but it's good to have a plan to start. And then I'd say it's up to the boats. So anyhow, good luck. I hope to see your names coming in, and on the flyer it gives my name and phone number and email. But I'd like to get a quick phone call or text, and let's see what happens. And that's all I have.
Dorothy, we've got about 2
And if
weeks to
anybody
put
has
this trip. We've got about 2 weeks to put this trip together, right? To find a skipper and a crew.
That's correct. That's right.
Okay. So if anybody is interested in this trip, contact Dorothy right away. All right. Well, thank you, Dorothy.
Did I do it within my 10 minutes?
You did. Exactly. You're the best. All right. Well, we're ready for Captain Ray. I think there were 28 of us on your boat a couple of years ago, 3 years ago. And I think every one of the 28 people would heartily recommend your Windjammer cruise, the Grace Bailey. What an amazing boat. So Captain Ray, you're on.
Okay.
You want to share your screen, right?
Hang on now.
All right.
Where is it?
See the green thing?
This one?
Yeah.
And we also have Margaret Jones
I'm the
assisting, it
editor,
looks
yeah.
like.
Okay. I go to
Okay.
share one. Go to one. The one. See 1, 3, 2. Those are the numbers over there. Where the vote is. Where the Grace Bailey. No, forward.
Over
There you
here?
go. Click on that one.
One.
And you have to share screen.
Okay, can you see that?
Not yet.
No.
Okay.
Share screen right here.
Okay. Then whoops. What does that say? Screen. Choose the screen here you want to share. Yeah.
This one?
No, does it say one?
This is screen one.
Does that say screen? Then share that.
Folks, I might
There we go.
mention that Captain Ray and Margaret Jones are coming to us from Camden, Maine.
Just barely coming to you. Okay. All right.
You are screen sharing.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Perfect.
Anytime you want to move that, click on
On the
the
picture?
screen.
This one?
Yeah. Click on that. No. See. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, well, we'll try and do something here. That last shot that we, I think you saw was the Grace Bailey. Oh, this is Captain Frank Swift. He's the one that started Windjammer Cruising back in 1936. This is the Mabel. She was the first vessel that he operated. He leased her for a season to try out his idea. He didn't do too well. Lost money, but had a great time and decided he'd do it again. So the following year, he went ahead with his Windjammer cruises. And this is from the first year, 1936. This is Lydia Webster, and he had her his second year in the business. Eventually, things started to catch on. Travel writers found out about it and said, "Wow, what a great idea!" And they started printing articles, and before you know it, he was mobbed with customers. And by 1939, he had 4 schooners in his fleet, and the fleet continued to grow. These are pictures of Camden Harbor. And as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3 vessels in the foreground, 2 or 3 vessels in the background over here. And there were also vessels at other docks. He pretty much dominated the harbor. I think he had a total of 13 vessels during his 25 years in business. And I think the most he ever operated at one time was 8 or 9. Here they are again, drying their sails. Probably this is the end of the season. They're just getting ready to take the sails off. And of course, this is Camden Harbor. It's sort of famous for being not only the Windjammer capital of the world, but the prettiest harbor on the coast of Maine. Oh, this is me a few years ago. That's my wife, Ann, and my 2 girls, Elisa and Christy. And this is taken in 1936 when we bought the fleet. 86 when we bought the fleet as a young family. At the time, there were 3 vessels in the fleet. The Mistress, our small vessel, the Mercantile, and the Grace Bailey. Here we are leaving Camden on a Monday morning, and the 2 of us are 2 vessels here, Grace Bailey and the Mercantile, are just beginning their week-long journey. This is the Maddie, which is the Grace Bailey. It's the same vessel, but the name was changed back in 1906. Grace Bailey was the original name, and it was named for Edwin Bailey's daughter, the original owner of the vessel, who both the vessel and his daughter were launched in 1882, and he named them both Grace Bailey. But in 1906, around there, the name of the vessel was changed to Maddie, who is actually his granddaughter, favorite granddaughter. This is a photograph that was taken during the restoration of the Grace Bailey in 1990. And as you can see, we went right down to the keel here, and everything got replaced, all the framing and the centerboard, deck beams, all of that. This is another picture of some restoration work that we were doing on the Mercantile. And that's me a few years ago, putting in the shutter plank. That was the last plank to seal up the hull. And down here are my 2 daughters who used to come every day after school, not every day, but in the springtime when we were up against it, my wife would come and join us and help with painting and so forth. And the girls here entertaining themselves, practice painting. This is an interior shot. If you can see, these are knees. These are hackmatack knees, hanging and lodging knees. So the hanging knees, I don't know if you can see the cursor, are the vertical knees that support the deck beams, and the horizontal knees between the deck beams, tie the whole deck together. And when we were talking to the National Park Service, the marine historian found out that we were restoring the vessel and wanted to know, could we check in with him to make sure that we're doing it according to their standards? And I said, oh, we're doing everything exactly as it would have been done when it was originally built. So I said, we're even putting the knees back to her. And I said, I don't know any other vessel that still is framed with hanging lodging knees. And he said, well, I can think of two right off the bat. And that was the, I said, well, which vessels are they? And he said, well, the USS Constitution and the USS Constellation. So I said, well, at least we're in good company. Again, this is an interior shot, and you can see all the knees. This have been on the port side, and we're still fairing in the frames here, put the ceiling in. This is one of our yawl boats. The vessels don't have inboard power, so we use this yawl boat, a little tugboat like, and it has a pudding on the front, and it has a 75 horsepower diesel with a 4-bladed 20-inch propeller and a very low reduction gear, so it can push the schooner along at 5 or 6 knots with just this little 14-foot yawl boat. And we also use the yawl boat to transport our guests to the shore to visit in the little towns and uninhabited islands that we travel to. I guess this is some of the rigging here. All of our rigging is natural fibers, and everything is block and tackle. There are no winches on board. Everything is done manually. There's a windlass, hand-operated windlass, you can see here. And we have these huge fisherman anchors and heavy chain. And we use the windlass here to bring the anchors aboard, and block and tackle as well. This is the main cabin on the Grace Bailey. As you can see, we have a piano, usually have a couple of guitars and instruments on board. This is my cabin over here. And this parlor area, which is the original main cabin, not this wall here, which we put in. There have been a few changes, but in the background, you can see all of this paneling is original 1882 hand-carved paneling. This is the galley. We have a wood stove here. It's a shipmate wood stove, and that's what we use for cooking. We can carry up to 29 guests, and we have seating for all 29 guests below in the galley. And well, there it is. Yeah, the stove will heat the hot water for the shower. There's a hot water tank right here in the background, if you can see that. And here's the fleet again. These pictures were taken after all 3 vessels were restored. Here they are in their berth in Camden Harbor. Again, very, very picturesque little harbor. This is mostly my family, my wife and I here, my oldest daughter, Elisa, who got her captain's license and sailed for several years as a captain of one of our schooners. And my other daughter, Christy, who worked pretty much, both of them worked every summer of their lives. I think Christy was 4 when we bought the boats, and my Elisa was 6, and they spent every summer of their lives up until at least their mid-20s aboard all summer. This picture here is of a very special guest, Maddie Mosier. Maddie first sailed on what was then called the Maddie in 1939. And she always used to tell the story that she paid $35 to go for a week on the trip. She had made over 100 trips with us over the years, from 1939 till I don't know, when did she pass?
2011.
2011. She made her last trip. We buried her at sea. I buried her ashes anyway. This couple here, I think it was Jim and Ellen, were married on board. They met on board, and they both came on the trip as individuals. They came back a year later or 2 years later and got engaged on board. And then they came back the following year and got married on board. So it's quite a love boat. Again, here's Maddie over here. And on the left, you can see Maddie in the bosun's chair. When we were doing the rebuild, we had to berth at a dock that didn't have a ramp. So we were actually just tied up against a pier. And it was low tide when Maddie arrived, and nothing but a greasy fisherman's ladder. And Maddie actually had polio and was somewhat limited in her mobility. And she looked down at the schooner and she said, "How am I going to get on board?" And I said, "Oh, don't worry, Maddie, we'll get you aboard." And she's in her 80s here, coming aboard in the bosun's chair. See what else we got. Oh, here she is. Yeah, here she is in one of her early trips as a young woman. Who's this?
It's Maddie and her husband, isn't it?
I don't think so.
Yeah. I think so.
Okay. Okay. Oh, here she is, Maddie. Maddie was always the life of the party. When she came aboard, she really got people going. Here she was dressed up in a bunny costume, but she was always the life of the party, even when she was in her 80s and 90s. And everybody loved to sail with Maddie. They always say, "I want to go the same week as Maddie." So, well, I guess that's her coming aboard again. There she is. Here we are in the galley, and this is just to show you what the table and the seating arrangement is. There's three large tables down in the galley. Here's Maddie in her favorite spot. She loved to sit up in the bow and just listen to the waves against the bow. You could usually find her right up there. Oh, and she wasn't afraid of pitching in either. Here she is, probably 80 odd years old, helping with the sails. This is Camden Harbor, looking at the Curtis Island, and in the background you can see Mark Island and North Haven in the far distance. There's over 1,000 islands in our cruising grounds. Most of them are small and many are uninhabited, but there are probably a half a dozen or a dozen that are large enough to have year-round communities with schools and hospitals and so on.
We have about a minute left to go.
Oh boy, I better just keep clicking here and you'll get the idea. Everybody likes to pitch in and help, and we're all having a great time. Everybody, you don't have to if you don't want to, but most people do want to pitch in and lend a hand, even doing the dishes.
Dorothy.
Here's Dorothy. Yeah, we got her swabbing the decks here. The galley, there's breakfast. Here we are in the yawl boat heading ashore. This is our lobster bake. We have one of these on every cruise, and we go ashore to an uninhabited island, cook up lobsters and corn on the cob and s'mores and all kinds of stuff. Oh, there they go. All right, and a couple of little harbors here. I'm going pretty quickly through here. You get the idea. Here's the Grace Bailey under full sail, of course. This is my wife Ann and I. This picture was in Downey's magazine when we first bought the business. They wrote an article about us. And yeah, that's the whole story, I guess. We'd love to have you all aboard. As I said, we can hold up to 29. I think the last time we had 28. All the information about pricing and how to reserve and all that went out in a package. So I'm assuming that everybody has access to that. But if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
All right. We'll have time for some questions after the next presenter, Captain Ray, and marvelous. I think I'm going to have to go again.
Okay, so I'm signing off. No?
Is Margaret going to talk about the trip coming up at the end of August?
Did you want to talk about that?
Well, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, well, yeah, this is all sort of lead up and what it's all about for the trip that's coming up on the 29th. And for anyone from Northern Lights and guests, if your reservations, your $50 reservation is in by April 15th, then you have till May 15th to pay the rest of your deposit, and you'll receive a 15% discount. Anything after that is just our regular price. But there's a flyer in there that gives you all of that information. Dorothy can answer questions. Any other member who's been on board can, Marilyn can tell you how she cried because the cabin was so small, but she learned to love it. And I'm available. The phone number's on the flyer. I'm available for questions and reservations at any point.
Okay, well, thank you, Captain Ray and Margaret, for the presentation. And stick around. We'll have perhaps some questions in about another 10 minutes or so. And if you could delete your screen sharing. And at this point, we'd have Marilyn on, Marilyn Kaplan. So there you go. Good. Marilyn, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, you're on.
All right. I don't see myself in the screen. I only see Jerry.
I see you.
Okay. So we have several guests who did not receive the flyer. And so I was wondering, Jerry, if you could give your contact information in case any of the guests want more information on dates for these trips and who to call about each of the trips. So could you just give your information?
Yes. Okay, it's G.T. Sicard, SICARD, @gmail.com. GT Sicard @gmail.com. And phone number 612-940-7403.
Okay, so I don't have a PowerPoint. I don't have a screen share, so I won't have any technical difficulties except that I can't see myself. So I'm just going to talk about a cruise that got put together just last minute. And so we did put out a quick flyer on it, but I'll just go through a little bit. Several Northern Lights members and others went on a Panama Canal cruise last year, a year ago, and it was arranged by Beverly from Cruising Smart. And we all agreed it was pretty awesome. And no one on the ship got COVID, which was just amazing. And for John and me, it'll be our third cruise with Beverly. And once again, Beverly and her husband will be on board. So if there's any issues, we can knock on her door and she'll fix the problems. And for January 12th through the 23rd, of 2022, Beverly has arranged for a Caribbean cruise aboard one of the Holland America ships. And we were on Holland America last year, and we all thought it was great. It's a 10-day cruise leaving from and returning to Fort Lauderdale, and stops include, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but Sint Maarten, which is the Dutch side of St. Martin. So correct me, anyone who knows how to say it correctly. St. Lucia, Barbados, Martinique, St. Kitts Nevis, St. Thomas, Half Moon Cay in the Bahamas, and plus there's a few days at sea with several scenic viewing sites. And we have group pricing starting at $1,494 per person for a shared cabin. A balcony goes for $22.94 per person. And if 3 want to share a cabin, that can be arranged. And it's pretty much all inclusive except for the tours. You don't have to pay for tours. You can just get off the ship and walk around. And typically prices go down and amenities go up as Beverly works her magic toward the dates of the trip. A deposit of $600 holds your spot and is fully refundable up until October 11th. And on this cruise, there are many tours that you can book through the ship. However, Beverly arranges tours by locals at most of the ports at a greatly reduced price. And the tours we've had with her have always been excellent. The ship offers many opportunities for education, entertainment, eating, and relaxation. And many of these are included in the all-inclusive price. And some examples are dining in several dining rooms or buffets, a casino, but you have to pay your own debts, or share your winnings. A live band chronicling rock music history, which we didn't have on the last one, which John and I are really excited about. We have the BB King's Blues Club again this year. There's a 2-level world stage for daily and nighttime entertainment, and that's every day and every night. We have the Billboard pianists who play the Lincoln stage for classical and contemporary music. There's daytime classes in cooking, computers, art, and much more. That's all included. Last year, I took a whole bunch of Microsoft classes, which were just great. BBC Earth, which is through the BBC, and it's in concert on the big screen with a narrator. Then there's an Exploration Central room that you can access on your own, and it goes through the area that you're approaching, its culture, and the various activities that are available there. And there's also a wonderful spa, and you can ask Jenny Adrian about that. It is an extra fee, but she absolutely enjoyed that. This is not a club-sponsored trip. It is a cruise ship. And you can email me at Zypta, ZYPTA46@gmail.com if you're interested or have questions about the cruise. You can also go on the Holland America website and just put in the dates, January, put in first of all Fort Lauderdale as your port, and then the dates, January 12th to the 23rd, and the 10-day trip will come up and you can see all sorts of pictures and activities and things going on. I didn't even talk about like a tenth of the things that go on and the different ports that you'd be stopping in. And I know that a lot of us have sailed to these ports, but when you get on a cruise ship and get off and go on one of Beverly's tours, you really get to see the islands and hear from locals about the island and its culture. So it's pretty special. So that's it, Zypta46@gmail.com if you're interested. And I was under 10 minutes. Thank you.
There you go. All right. Okay, folks, that's all there is. If anybody, any members have questions for any of the presenters, now's the time. None?
I've got one. Can I talk?
You're on.
Yeah, go ahead. We didn't
Okay.
really queue people up to send them into chat, so go ahead.
All right. I would be a single person, go the St. Martin's cruise is what I'm looking at. I would be a one person. Is that a problem? Or will there be enough ones that we can get matched up? Nobody knows.
Marilyn? Al?
Oh, what do you think about that, Marilyn? Can you unmute yourself?
I just
Maybe weigh in?
unmuted. Right now, right now the trip is full, but I believe because we had to change the trip twice now, we're not real sure who exactly is going to be going or who's going to be selling their spots. But if someone comes on as a single, we can try and match you up with someone to share a cabin, or you can pay for 2 people and have your own cabin. Usually we try and match you up with someone, and we do have the salon for someone to sleep in if you don't want to sleep with a stranger.
Okay.
That answer the
This would be
question?
my first time on going on anything like this. And with the cost and flights, etc., my mind says if I had $2,000 set aside, do you think that would be a realistic budget for that trip, including airfare?
It really depends. It depends on the airfare, and I think it would.
Right now, when I look,
it really
Well,
varies. It might not
okay.
quite be enough.
Yeah, and you guys should really, this is a very personal discussion, so like we say at work, you should take that offline.
Right.
Yeah.
all right, so you're the one I should talk to, though. Is that correct, Marilyn?
You can talk to me or to Al, but yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
yeah, thanks for your interest.
Anybody else?
What did Dorothy say was the were the dates of her trip, for Dorothy's trip?
The Newport,
Right.
Rhode Island is, Dorothy, what was the date for that?
September 17th to the 24th.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, was there a flyer? Yeah, there is a flyer on that. Okay.
Okay.
Anyone
And I
else?
Jerry, I assume we're going to try to have all this in the bearings for next month?
I'll have a recap, yes, and hopefully everyone that presented a trip will have a flyer in the bearings as well. I don't know about getting them on the website right away. Hopefully we can. I'll try. I'll work on that. And so if all you presenters would well, see, I'll take that offline. I'll work on that. So, yes.
Okay.
I have a
Okay. Go ahead.
Hi. Okay, so I'm looking at the flyers and I'm trying to figure out which trips are full. And it looks like the St. Martin trip is full and the houseboat trip is full. What other trips are full right now?
I think those are the only ones because St. Martin has been replanned a couple times.
And even the houseboat trip, we have a wait list and we have one boat chartered. There's a couple options. We can get a bigger boat. We can charter a second boat. So if you have an interest in these trips, let us know. I think even St. Martin, I don't know if they could get a fourth boat possible.
Right. There's another catamaran available, or at least there was the last time I talked to them. We would need a skipper for that, and I think we could probably do that, get another skipper. So
Also, the Newport trip is not, nobody's on it yet, but we have to know by the 30th of March. And the other one, The only one that's not full, and we have a little bit of time, is the Windjammer.
Well, basically, then what the trip planners are saying is nothing is really full.
Correct.
Because, because the two that are quote full have other boats. I mean, they're just full because they
Correct.
were planned pre-COVID, but we can add boats. So if you're interested, let them know,
Well,
because we can add a boat.
when I did the Greece trip a couple of years ago, we started with one boat
Yeah.
and we added a second, a third,
Fourth,
and a
yeah.
fourth. So
That's
how
what
it
happened
goes.
when we went to Tahiti. But way a long time ago,
Yeah.
but we ended up with, I think, 6 boats on that one.
We did
So
the same
I-
thing with Newport.
So I would say,
Yeah.
if anybody is interested in any of these trips, contact the trip organizer for further
I mean,
information.
that's why we put them out there. Technically, right now, the boats are full, but we can add more people. And especially when they're a little ways off, those people that were originally going to go in 2020, they may not be able to go in 2022. Things change a lot.
Thank you for clarifying. that.
Absolutely.
Thank you, thank you.
Yep. And I'm going on that Windjammer trip, so come on, let's go have some fun. I already booked my airline tickets, so they better not change it again.
The problem is that they're some of the weeks aren't good in the fall.
Well, the
Well,
Windjammer trip is the last week in August. It's going to be fabulous, especially because when we go into port, the Tall Ship Festival is going to be happening right there in Camden when we pull in.
and on the Windjammer trip, hopefully Captain Ray will be at the helm and he'll have stories all week long. You're just going to want to hang around the stern and just soak up all of the history and the stories from Captain Ray.
Talking story is a good thing.
The food
I
on
think,
those Windjammer cruises is just incredible.
Oh, it was. In fact, they served a breakfast at 6 a.m. of muffins or some sort of a cake-like thing and coffee. And that's for the early risers. And then they have a regular breakfast at 8 o'clock. And then, of course, you have lunch and dinner. But now, if you're baking something at 6 a.m. or you're serving it at 6 a.m., this is a wood-fired stove. So think about the time that chef has to get up, get the fire going in the stove, bake this stuff to have it ready at 6 a.m. I mean, it's a lot of work. And the term ice box, all of the food on the boat is kept in an ice box with ice. There's no engine
Cool.
on the boat. Yep. So I think that about wraps it up, folks.
Is there any more questions out there? Well, you guys all know where to find us if you have any questions. So,
Can I get on there? Let's see. I don't know if
oh yeah,
the
we can see
screen.
that. I saw it coming up.
Oh, can you see that? All right.
Yeah, okay, over it a little bit. Yeah, a little more. Okay, closer to
I
you.
can't see it at all.
Oh, Dorothy, you can't talk, because then it goes away. Because then we see your face.
Okay. You all got
Okay,
that?
Jerry, you
Yeah.
just have to put it closer to you because it's too big.
How's that?
There you go. Perfect.
That's all I've got.
Alrighty, everybody. This will be on our YouTube channel, so if you really got to have it. And, you know, we are on Facebook, our private group on Facebook. So if you have not signed up for that, and, you know, I know some people hate Facebook, but you can set it up so that you don't get all those bothersome notifications, and you can just go out there to just look at your Facebook Northern Lights Sailing Club stuff. And as a reminder, I would really like to get people that have trailer sailor boats kind of get a little subgroup going so that we can do some trailer sailor gatherings this summer around the cities. Because I got to get my little girl out a little bit more. She needs to get wet. Okay. I guess if there's nothing else, our meeting is adjourned and we will see you all next month.
All right. Bye-bye.
Night out,
Thank you.
night out there in Camden.